Hey builders, Pranav here and welcome back. Have you ever wondered how can a large language model pay for a service? LLMs don't have bank accounts or crypto wallets. So how do we give them the power to interact with a growing number of monetized on-chain APIs? Today we are solving that exact problem. We are going to build an MCP server that acts as a payment gateway for an LLM. The server will use a secure API managed wallet from CoinBridge Java platform to automatically handle the 402 payment required code. And here's the best part. We'll design it so the user can provide the file content directly within the LLM chat, making the entire process truly interactive. For this demo, we'll be using the Pinatas X402 API to upload the file content to IPFS on base mainnet.
X402.
In our last video, we showed you how to create a pay-per-use API. Today, we are building the client that consumes them. By the end, you will know how to give any AI tool the superpower of autonomous payments. So let's get started. First of all, let's go through the architecture diagram and see how all of this works. So first, we have the user who would type a prompt with the text content on the file name, which is then passed to the LLM client, which in turn does a tool call with the function and the parameters like text content and file name. The tool call is then forwarded to the MCP server, which handles all of the subsequent API and payment logic. So first, it does a post request to the Pinata X402 API with the file size, and the Pinata X402 API returns a 402 payment required code. Then the automatic payment handling process comes in, which is handled by the Pinata X402 API CDP wallet on base mainnet. So this automatic payment handling would have numerous processes like signing the payment transaction, submitting the USDC transaction, and once the transaction is confirmed, returning the proof of payment. So once this proof of payment is acquired by the MCP server, the post request is retied with the X payment header. The Pinata X402 API would return a 200 OK request with the pre-signed URL if everything was successful. Once that is done, a, a post request is done with the file data to the pre-signed URL, and the Pinata X402 API would return 200 OK with the final IPFS CID if all of the requests were successful. Once that is done, all of the main process are done, and then the MCP server would return the tool result with the success and the CID. And then this is forwarded to the user, and it is displayed as the final answer with the IPFS CID. So now let's get started with the project. So first of all, let's set up the project. So I'm already on my terminal over here. So first of all, let's create the project directory, mkdir x402 mcp gateway. Once that is done, let's navigate to this directory. And after that, we'll initialize a Node.js project in this directory using npm init-var. This would set up a package.json in the directory. Once that is done, let's install all of the dependencies required for this MCP server. These are the list of the packages. So first of all, we have the SDK for Model Context Protocol. So this would allow us to process all of the tool calls from the LLM and handle all of the LLM processing part. Next, we have the Coinbase CDP SDK for wallet processing and wallet management, and Axios for API management, and X402 Axios for handling the X402 API, .env for managing environment variables, and form data for processing the data provided by the user. Once that is done, we'll hit enter. So now we are done with the installation of dependencies. Now let's set up TypeScript for the project as well. So now let's install the TypeScript on the dev dependencies. So we'll install TypeScript, TS node, and node types as the dev dependencies. So let's hit enter over here. So once that is done, let's set up TypeScript and TS configuration as well, and pay tscv/init. So the TS configuration is also done. Once that is done, we are done with the project setup. Now we need to set up the SSC folder and the main MCP server file and the environment variables where all of the environment variables like the CDP SDK variables would reside. So now let's finish up the rest of the project setup as well. We are done with the Node.js and TypeScript configurations and the dependencies. Now let's create on the SRC folder. Inside that would reside our MCP server.ts file. So here all of the logic would reside for the MCP server. Next, let's create the .env file for the environment variables. I'll also create a .env example for showing the example configuration of environment variables. So I already have the example configuration over here. So first of all, we have the Coinbase Java platform credentials for wallet management and mainnet payment. So we would require these credentials for initializing the CDP SDK in our MCP server. So you can get the CDP API key ID, API key secret, and wallet secret from the Coinbase Java platform console. So you can just log into the console and get all of the credentials from there. So once you get the credentials, you can just use that credentials over here to set up the CDP SDK in your project. And next we have the Pinata Explorer API configuration. This is the API configuration for the Pinata Explorer API that we are going to use in the LCP server. So this is the base URL and this is the public part. So that's it for the environment variable configuration. Now let's move on to building the logic for the MCP server. So now we are done with the main project setup part and we can move on to the implementation part for the MCP server. So this server implementation would be divided into two important parts. One would be a normal Express server implementation where we would be implementing an Explorer API from scratch and then using that API for an MCP implementation. And in the next part, we would be using the Pinata Explorer API for the MCP implementation so that the LLM can access the API and upload files to IPFS using this API. So now let's get started with this implementation. Before that, we need to install two more packages so that we can implement the Express part of this implementation. So I just install the Express and the X402 and the X402 Express packages as well. Once that is done, let's move on to the implementation and implement the Express server as well as the MCP server as well. So first of all, let's get started with the imports and environment variable configurations for the script. So let's go to the imports one by one and see how they work. So first of all, we have the MCP server and Studio Server transport imports from the Model Context Protocol SDK. So this would help us with the MCP implementation in the script. Next, we have CDP client from Coinbase CDP SDK so that we can initialize Coinbase developer platform wallets in our script. Next, we have Axios for API management and Xcode to Axios for successfully handling the Xcode to API request. Next, we have form data for managing user data and .env for environment variables and to account import from VM accounts. So here we will be converting the CDP account format to a VM account format and then passing it to the Xcode to Axios package. Next, we have the Express imports like the payment middleware and network for the Express implementation, where we would be creating an API and using Xcode to monetize it. After that, we will initialize the environment variables. So we'll be initializing the environment variables like the CDP API keys and the Pinata base URL. So we'll make sure that all of these environment variables are set up before we proceed with the script. So we will keep a simple check for this as well. Now we'll move on with the first part of this implementation where we would be creating a server and using Xcode to monetize the APIs in the server. So now let's start with the part one implementation for the script. So the step one here would be to first initialize the CDP client and the Express server. So first of all, we initialize the CDP client using Coinbase CDP SDK and define the various constants that we would require for the script like the wallet name, Express port, and with the API URL. After that, we initialize a variable named X42 client with the return type of Axios. And right after that, we'll be initializing an Express server using const type is equals to Express. After that, we'll configure an X42 payment middleware for base Sepolia. So basically, we'll be using the app.use middleware configuration. So we'll be using an X42 middleware configuration. In that, we'll be using the payment middleware import from the X42 Express package to set up the X42 payment middleware. The parameters would be first your receiving wallet address. So all of the payments would be sent to this address. After that, the API configuration, like the get slash whether here you define the API. And after that, we set up the various parameters like the price. So here we are setting up the price in dollars. So the payment requested would be in USDC. After that, we have the network base Sepolia. So all of the payments would be settled on base Sepolia testnet. After that, we have the URL. So this would be a facilitator URL for base Sepolia testnet. So this URL acts as the bridge between your X402 API and the base testnet. So this URL will make sure that all of the confirmations are properly done on Base Apolia testnet, and you are successfully able to receive the payment confirmation from Base Apolia testnet. Once that is done, we'll define the API and then we can move on to the next step. So now let's set up the API as well. This would be just a demo API and you will be sending mock URLs in this API. The main goal of this Express Server implementation is to show you how you can set up an export to payment model for any API that you like. So this would be just a mock implementation, just a mock weather API endpoint, which would be protected by export to payments. So we just use app.get/weather and we'll be using normal queries like city and metric and just generate mock weather with data, and it will return a response like this with the city, temperature, cost, and everything. All of these are randomized using JavaScript functions. So we are done with the part one implementation where we were able to implement an Express server and implement an API with Export to monetization. So now let's start with the part two of the script, which would be to create the MCP server. So in this section, we would be actually initializing the MCP server and defining the various tools that would be accessed by the LLMs using this MCP server. So let's get started with that. So in the first part, we would be initializing the MCP server using the Model Context Protocol SDK import. So this MCP server import is the one which allows us to initialize MCP server in the script. Once that is done, we define the first tool that would be defined in this MCP server, which is the weather API tool, which uses a local explorer to monetize Express server. And in this, we initialize a tool using the server.tool method and define the name and the description in the first two parts. So the name would be get weather and description would be a short description regarding this tool. Once that is done, we define the various properties of this tool, like the type, which would be object, and the various properties like city and units like the temperature units and the enum defaults and the description. And the required property in this would be city. So city would be required so that we can get the weather of the city. Once that is done, we would define the actual functional part of this tool, where we would define how to get the API, how to pay for the API, and get the required values from the API. So now let's move on to the part two of this tool. So now let's move on to the function part of this tool. So I already have the code over here. Let's go through this one by one. So first of all, we create an async function with the logic. So in this, we call our explorer to protect the weather API. So we use the explorer to client.get weather API URL. And after that, we console log that the payment process and weather data has been received. Once we have got the data from the API, then we return this data in a particular content format to the LM. So in this content format, we define all of the content with the data. So we would define the various type of content like the weather, the temperature, the conditions, humidity, and other stuff. And next we have the error catching block, where we make sure that if there are any errors in this tool, we are able to catch it and we are able to debug it properly. We'll be shortly defining the export to client method, where we would be using the export to packages to define the client, and ultimately the client would use methods like get and post to call our export to predictor weather API. So now we are done with the tool one. Now we move on to the second and the most exciting and important part of this script, which would be to create a Pinata Explorer tool, where we would be using the tool to upload files to IPFS. Now let's start creating the second tool. So I already have the first part over here where we define the parameters as we were in the first tool. So first of all, we define the Pinata IPFS tool. So we use the server.tool method as we used before, and then we use the same process that we used in the first tool. So first of all, we define the name, then we define the description, then we define the various parameters of this tool. So the type would be object and the properties would be text content and file name. And in that we define the various properties of this parameters. So in this case, it would be type string description, and a file name will also be type string and a small description. Once that is done, we give the required fields as well. So in this case, both of the properties are required fields, as both of these properties would be required so that we can process the server tools. After that, we define the functional part of this tool, where we define all of the logic behind how this tool works and how this tool will call the Pinata Explorer 2 API to upload files to and content to IPF. So now let's build the logic of this MCP server tool. So let's go to the code and see how it works. So First of all, we define the function names with the parameters like the text content and the file name. Next, we do some console log, so that we get to know that the function has started. After that, we define the parameters of this function, which would be the file buffer and the file size. And then we define the pre-signed URL response. So we use the x402 client.post method with the Pinata pin path which we already defined in our env example. After that, we get the pre-signed URLs response. So in this, we will be using the pre-signed URL response.data.url. And once that is done, we create the data using the form data package that we imported before. So we use the form data package methods to create the data. And once that is done, we upload the response to the data using the axios.post method. So we use the pre-signed URL that we got before, and we use it to upload the response with the various parameters like headers and other parameters. Once that is done, we try to get the CID using the upload response. So the main response is .data.cid, but if there are any changes or if there are any additional methods, we try to get those as well. Once that is done, we console log and return the content. So in this case, the LLM would be returning the content as successfully pinned pinned to IPS with the file name and the CID. The CID will allow us to access the file on IPFS. So we can use this URL with the CID, and we will be able to access the content on IPFS. And next, we have the error catching block, where we define the error catching block and make sure that if there are any errors, we are able to catch them and debug them as well. If you want to know more about this process and see how this works in detail, you can check out our previous video as well, where we defined all of this in a proper server, and we were able to create a proper server for this Pinata X402 API. So you can check out that video to know in detail how the Pinata X402 API works. So now we are done with the tool. Now we can move on to define the main server function, where we would be initializing the MCP server, the Express server, and the X402 client. So let's move on to that. Now let's move on to the final part of the script, which would be to implement the main function of the script, where we would be starting up the Express server, initializing the CDP clients, and starting up the MCP server. So I already have the code over here. Let's go through it line by line and see how it works. So first of all, start the Express server. We use the app.listen method and start the Express server. We run the X402 monetized API on base Sepolia testnet. Once that is done, we initialize the CDP wallet for MCP server. So we use the CDP client.evm.get or create account to initialize a CDP account and initialize the CDP wallet. We use the wallet name, and once that is done, we console log to make sure that we are transitioning to the next step, which would be to start up the MCP server. So here, first we convert the CDP account to VM format, which we discussed before during the imports part, that we will be converting the CDP account to VM format so that we can initialize the X402 client using this VM account. Once that is done, we initialize the X402 client using this CDP account, which is converted to a VM account format, and we console log that the X402 client is ready for payments. Then we connect the MCP server. So we use the Studio Server transport method to connect the MCP server, and server.connect is used for initializing the MCP server. And we are done with the main function. And after that, we initialize a normal catch method to make sure that if there are any errors, we are able to catch them and debug them. So that's it. We are done with our server script. Now we can run the script and initialize this MCP server to one of the LLMs and see if it works or not. So now we are done with the main implementation of this MCP server, and now we can move on and test this MCP server implementation and see how it works with an LLM. But before that, we need to do some slight tweaks and changes to make sure that there are no issues while we are integrating this MCP server with an LLM. So first of all, we need to make sure that the environment variable configuration is global, and the MCP server or the LLM here basically can access the environment variables from a global configuration as well. So you make sure that the .env configuration has all the path and directory to make sure that this is global configuration and they can access it. The LLMs can access the configuration as well. Next, we also do a slight tweak. This is not recommended though. You can remove this, but here what we have done is that instead of the console.logs, we have kept console.errors. So Basically, when it comes to MCP servers, the JSON schema does not work properly, and the JSON schema often hinders with the JSON RPC API processes. So we need to make sure that when it comes to logging, we shouldn't log console.logs directly to the MCP server implementation, because that will hinder the processes. So here we make sure that we use console.error, so that we do not have any JSON schema hindering the processes, and the server processes are smooth. So here, as a fallback, we are using console.error methods so that we can get the logs. Here, as this is a demo and a tutorial, we are using console.error, but when it comes to production scenarios, I would suggest to use a console.error to just to show the logs. You can use other fallback methods, or do not do console logs in this method, but for this tutorial purposes, we'll be using console.error so that we can get the logs. Next, we have also make sure that the schema validation is done properly according to the Model Context Protocol SDK. So JSON schema is not supported by Model Context Protocol SDK, so we do it properly by Zord validation. So Zord is a library which allows us for input validation. So Zord library is specifically for input validation. So any kind of inputs can be validated by Zord library. So here, what we do is that we use the Zord library directly, so that uh, the integration that we have done is properly compatible with the Model Context Protocol SDK. So here the code is print short. So we directly use the Zord library to validate the input variables. No need of JSON schema validation. So once that is done, we can directly pass these arguments, and the parameters are now properly validated by Zord. So the main differences here is to make sure that we are properly using Zord validation and console logs and console errors to make sure that there are no hindering in the server processes. Apart from that, all of the main logic always remains the same. There is no issues with that. We only make sure that the input validation processes and other processes are properly done, and they do not hinder the server processes while the integration of the MCP with the LLM. Now, first, let's test this server on our normal terminal, and then we'll move on to integrating our MCP server to an actual LLM. So I'm just using TS mode over here for the script. So I'll just do npm run start. So yeah, our initialization was successful. As you can see, the CDP client initialization was successful. We were able to set up the X402 client as well, the MCP server as well, and both servers are running. The MCP server can now make X402 payments to both local and external APIs. So now we are successfully able to test and initialize the server. Now let's test this server out with an actual LLM implementation. So in this demo, I'll be using Claude Desktop on Mac. You can use any LLMs or AI providers that you like. You just need to make sure that you have correctly exported the MCP server to your AI provider or LLM to make sure that they can actually access the MCP server and use the APIs. So let's proceed ahead and integrate a MCP server to an LLM provider. In this demo, we'll be using Claude Desktop on Mac. You can use any AI or LLM providers that you like, ChatGPT or Gemini or any other providers that support MCP integration. When it comes to MCP providers, you can integrate MCP servers to LLM providers by importing the MCP server configurations in a JSON file and using those JSON configurations for the LLM providers. So the JSON configurations look something like this, where you mention the commands and the arguments to start up the server, so that the LLM provider can start up the server based on these commands and arguments. As I'm using Claude Desktop, so here you can access the Claude Desktop configuration.json in the library folder. For normal cases, this JSON file is located in the library folder for Mac. For other configurations, you will have to check out the documentation and see how the MCP providers work. So I've already imported the MCP server configuration in the Claude Desktop configuration for my Mac. Now I can go ahead and use this MCP on Claude Desktop, as this is automatically integrated by Claude Desktop once we import the configurations. So I already have my Claude Desktop open. You can just go ahead and go to Claude and then check settings over here. And then in the developer console, you can check that the X402 MCP gateway server is running successful, and the commands and the arguments were successful. Now we can use this MCP server and test it out with various prompts and see if it works or not. So now let's live test this MCP server integration and see how it works. So I have my first prompt over here. So we will first check our dummy weather API and see if it works properly or not. So I'll just click enter. Let's see if LLM is able to access our MCP server. And as you can see, integration was successful and Claude would ask for a permission so that it can use an external integration. I click allow once because I would like to verify the integration and to make sure that everything is working properly. So allow once. So it will take some time to do the payments as we have integrated X402 as well. And as you can see, our first API and server to implementation was successful. The current weather in London is something like this is randomized value as this was a dummy implementation. You can also check the logs as well. So for Claude Desktop, you can check the logs in the Claude logs file, which is also found in the library folder. Other LM providers, you have to check the documentation. So as you can see, integration was successful and we were able to successfully request the weather for London in this case, and the payment was processed successfully as well. So our first implementation was successful. Let's test out our second and the most important and interesting implementation for this MCP server, which would be the Pinata API, and see if we are successfully able to upload files to IPFS or not. So now let's test our second tool implementation. So I already have the prompt. Can you upload this text to IPFS? Hello from X402. This is my first monetized IPFS upload. Save it as just upload.txt. So let's see if this works or not. So as you can see, it has successfully recognized the MCP server implementation. I will click allow once. And executed successfully. We were successfully able to integrate the X402 Pinata API, and now we can just upload files to IPFS with a single prompt. You can see how easy was that and how easily we were able to integrate such a complicated system with an LLM provider, and now anyone can upload files to IPFS using prompts itself. So let's test out the IPFS implementation as well. So I'll just open this link. Let's see if this works or not. So yeah, hello from X402. This is my first monetized API. So yeah, we were successfully able to implement our MCP server as well and test it out with a live LLM example as well. You can also check the logs as well here. So as you can see, everything was successful. There were no errors in the logs as well. So pinning text content to file, touch upload.txt, requesting pre-signed URL, payment handled successfully. So everything was properly implemented. Now you can go ahead and do your own MCP server implementation with the various X402 APIs that are already available in the web. So go ahead and do various other implementations and see how you can use MCP to extend your LLM's capabilities. We have successfully built an MCP gateway that empowers an LLM with a secure CDP managed wallet, allowing it to autonomously pay for real-world on-chain services directly from a chat interface. And remember, this is just a foundational guide to get you started. You can expand on this in countless ways, integrating multiple paid APIs into one server, or even adding logic to your agent to choose the cheapest service, or even chaining multiple tools together to perform highly complex tasks. This pattern is fundamental for building a real functional economy of AI agents. You can use it to integrate any X402 powered API from data services to computational engines and beyond. Explore further. To dive deeper into the technologies that we use today, you can always check out these resources. Check out docs.cdp.coinbase.com to know more about Coinbase web platform services. Check out x402.org to know more about the X402 protocol. And you can always check out modelcontextprotocol.io to know more about MCP as well. And remember to check out Heimlich.com as well for more such tutorials and Web3 resources. If this guide on building an MCP powered gateway was helpful, please give it a like, share, and follow for more such advanced Web3 tools. What kind of paid tools will you connect to your agents? Let me know your ideas in the comments below. Thanks for building with me today. See you in the next one.